Hello, welcome to The World Today on CGTN. Live from Beijing, I'm Pandong. We start in South Korea. An anti-THAAD rally was held in Seoul on Saturday ahead of the presidential election in the country. People were urging the next president to reconsider the deployment of the U.S. anti-missile system. The organizer said about 50,000 people attended the rally, including over 100 residents from Sinju County, where the system will be installed. The organizer is planning to hold another demonstration closer to the presidential election on May the 9th in Sinju County. Currently, Mr. Moon Jae-in of the Democratic Party is holding the lead in a majority of the polls.
The next president should discuss with the people if the deployment of THAAD is really needed for our security and military. If it appears that it is not really needed, he or she should ask the United States to withdraw.
Turning to another drama surrounding the deployment of the THAAD anti-missile system. South Korea says Washington has reaffirmed it will shoulder the cost of the deployment. This comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump said South Korea should have paid $1 billion required. According to South Korean Presidential Office, U.S. National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster has reaffirmed initial agreement with his counterpart Kim Kwai-jin. The two spoke by telephone on Sunday. McMaster said Seoul will only provide land without further costs demanded by President Trump. McMaster was quoted as saying the President Trump's remarks were made in a general context with American people's hopes for cost sharing by allies in mind. He also reassured his South Korean counterpart the alliance with South Korea is the top U.S. priority in the Asia-Pacific region. Meanwhile, the USS Carl Vinson strike group has arrived off the eastern waters of the Korean Peninsula and kicked off a joint military drill with the South Korean Navy. The drills are taking place amid heightened tensions from the DPRK's failed ballistic missile launch on Saturday. The naval exercise will focus on missile warning informational link exercise, which monitors, traces and intercepts any intercontinental ballistic missiles that could be potentially launched by the DPRK. Earlier this week, the strike group participated in joint drills with Japan's naval forces after numerous false reports on its actual destination of the last few weeks. Earlier, we talked to our correspondent Shane Harm in Seoul. He told us more about high-profile military exercise between the U.S. and South Korea.
Well, according to the Navy here, South Korean Navy forces as well as the U.S. Strike Force carrier began these drills in waters off the eastern coast of the peninsula at 6 p.m. here local time on Saturday. As far as a detailed schedule, none has been released yet, but Yonhap News Agency here is reporting that the drills will take place through the rest of this week. As far as the South Korean Navy is concerned, they're sending 2 Aegis-class destroyers as well as patrol aircrafts, Lynx helicopters. They'll be taking part in the drills as well. And this is the second time these allies will be conducting drills off the coast here with the USS Carl Vinson after it arrived here last month as well. But of course, all this comes with the backdrop of heightened tensions here in the region. On Saturday morning, the DPRK conducted another missile launch attempt, which failed, according to officials here. And also keep in mind, scheduled joint military drills between the U.S. and ROK armed forces come to an end today. So really the hope is that tensions can ease slightly moving forward after these drills are over, but that doesn't mean Pyongyang won't carry out a nuclear test or long-range ICBM launch, because that threat still exists.
In response to this large-scale military drills between the U.S. and South Korea, the DPRK has once again warned against a nuclear war as the USS Carl Vinson strike group holds military drills with South Korea. The official newspaper of the DPRK's ruling Workers' Party, Rodong-sinmun, published an article titled "Reckless Provocation to Ignite Nuclear War." The commentary called the latest move by the U.S. reckless and provocative, saying it was a dangerous scenario to provoke a nuclear war. It also said it was the DPRK's right to counter the provocation with a preemptive attack using nuclear force as a pivot. Turning to Southeast Asia now, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, has wrapped up its summit in Manila. It was the first major international gathering to be hosted by Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte. Significant attention was given to Duterte's anti-illegal drug and anti-terrorism drive, as well as regional economic integration and the South China Sea issue. Barnaby Lowe reports.
Unpredictable is one way to describe Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte. But as he hosted his first major international meeting, predictable was the way most events went at the first of two annual summits of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, held in Manila. Since 2015, the regional bloc has been working toward building an integrated economic community. Progress on this front was reported, along with discussions on how to best move forward so that the region's strong economic growth can benefit all.
Our peoples want a stable source of livelihood, a roof over one's head, quality education for their children, affordable health care, a peaceful and stable government, and a dynamic economy. Today I say our peoples deserve these and more.
A statement consistent with how he's favored friendship and economic partnership with China over territorial disputes. When he faced the media Saturday evening, he made no mention of any conflict in the South China Sea.
We are also asking for the conduct. That's about it. No terms of reference except that we want the code of conduct enacted by at the very least before the end of this year, so that everybody would just feel comfortable sailing there, because if not, then it remains to be a flashpoint.
There's no shortage of issues ASEAN as a regional bloc has to deal with, but senior officials and leaders found it necessary to weigh in on what is currently one of the most pressing issues in the world, the rising tensions on the Korean Peninsula.
The countries of ASEAN, or ASEAN as a word, is extremely worried. There seems to be two countries playing with their toys, and those toys are not really to entertain. And we have to caution everybody.
Indeed, while not directly involved, Southeast Asia could be one of the first to suffer if a war breaks out on the Korean Peninsula. Barnaby Lowe, CGTN, Manila.
During the ASEAN summit in Manila, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte spoke of the importance of China's Belt and Road Initiative and said it might help his own country.
Starts here in Asia. It is an expanding theory of economics, I guess, of China. It is helping neighbors at the same time, broadening the market. So I expect that I can not really get something out of it, but maybe more help to develop my country.
For more insight into that, earlier we talked to Ms. Su Xiaohui from the China Institute of International Studies. She talked about the links between ASEAN's development needs and China's Belt and Road Initiative, and said China and ASEAN should cooperate with each other. We know that lack of capital and technology is a major factor hampering ASEAN's interconnectivity. Do you see a link between ASEAN's development needs and China's Belt and Road Initiative?
Well, I do see that ASEAN countries attach more importance to China in recent years, and the important initiative proposed by China, the Belt and Road Initiatives, also drawn ASEAN countries' attention. Well, currently, I suppose that more and more ASEAN countries believe that China is trying to provide an opportunity. As you mentioned, that capital and other factors will undermine ASEAN's efforts to build up economic community. So ASEAN needs a country like China to provide help. And what China would like to do is to cooperate with ASEAN countries to try to achieve win-win cooperation. And the projects will be under market operation. So ASEAN countries gradually try to accept China's idea and try to find approaches to work with with China. And currently, Philippines is a very good example. The country is talking with China about how to work on the Belt and Road Initiative. And as the chairman this year, the country would like to share the opportunity to share the experiences with the other countries by working with China. And so for ASEAN countries, I suppose that the Belt and Road Initiative is not some strategic plan posed by China to expand China's influence in the region, but some concrete projects, some work that they can talk and the enterprises can cooperate with each other.